Good evening, everyone. This is another edition of That's It, I've Had It. Thanks for tuning in yet again. I really appreciate it. This is hopefully going to turn into something pretty interesting if we continue the onward march. This week I'll be taking on the topic of college sports and the unionization of college players. I have an issue with it. I have an issue with it. As you may know, some students at Northwestern University, whatever it's called, some of the full-ride scholarship kids have gotten together and decided they want to unionize because they feel like they're employees of the university and as such should be compensated, etc. Now, here's my primary issue with that. These college athletes are compensated. Hey, you get a $80,000 to $100,000 education for free. All right, that's compensation, right? Most of these guys. Well, I shouldn't say most of these guys. Some of these guys will get actual living stipends for food and for rent and for things of that nature. If they are so entrepreneurial, and it has been known that some of them have pooled their resources, rented a little crappy apartment, three or four guys to a little crappy apartment, and saved the remainder of their stipends for themselves. So these guys are getting paid. This notion that these college athletes are somehow being mistreated because they don't get a paycheck from the school is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. There's a couple of things that they need to be worried about as student athletes too if they want to unionize. Okay, take on this. How about taxes? If they unionize, that's considered income for them. So at 18 years old, a full-ride scholarship player will start paying taxes on everything that university offers him. The entire package. So that's the education, $80,000 to $100,000, the cash money that they're supposed to be getting. God only knows how much you're going to negotiate for that. Healthcare, huh? How about that one? Got to add that in there too. I'm sure it's going to be collective bargaining, right? Of course. But they're going to have to pay taxes on all this stuff. They're going to have to come up with cash to send to the government every year for this stuff. Something they really want to take on at 22, 20, 18 years old? I know I didn't. I didn't even want to take on the responsibility of credit, but did it anyway and got myself a crap credit score as a result. My fault, I admit it. I can deal with it, but nonetheless. These guys are arguing for their own demise. And not to mention what it'll do to college sports. How many college programs will just cut their programs? They'll just cut their programs because they can't afford to meet the demands of the full-ride scholarship players. And the playerships that aren't good enough to get the full-ride scholarships aren't going to keep them in contention for championships that they need to attract those full-ride scholarship players. It's a vicious cycle that's gonna wean us off of college football. Nobody's gonna want to play for what the university is going to offer. Or the universities just aren't going to offer anything because they understand the money's not going to be there. It's not going to work. And then everybody will be mad at the universities. Oh, look how horrible they are, just destroying opportunities for young black men and young Latinos and young, whatever. The same old drivel because they don't want to pay that money. They'll give up hundreds of millions of dollars. They'll give up hundreds of millions of dollars per school in revenue from all this stuff because they understand that they can't afford, even with those hundreds of millions of dollars, they can't afford to make the program viable if they have to pay on top of offering the education itself. I don't know if you know this or not, but tenured teachers in colleges are not cheap. They do not come with a small price tag at all. Most of these universities have very intricately designed irrigation plans for all the lawns and trees that all the EPA kids that wanted to regulate and say that we had to have. So now we've got all this extensive, delicate ecosystem working around all these college campuses that cost all this money. Most of it being funded by the government, and then we're mad. Well, I shouldn't say we're mad, but then college athletes are mad because they don't think they're getting paid. It's unbelievable. It's just absolutely unbelievable. And you know what? I'm going to play devil's advocate. Give it to them. Let them pay the taxes. Let them feel the headache. Let them feel the squeeze of the Steelworkers Union. Anybody know the old Steelworkers Union out of Philly? Huh? Out of Pennsylvania? Anybody know those guys? I hear they run a hard bargain, as they say. These are the guys that are going to represent students to the universities. Man, you thought our colleges were liberal now? You ain't seen nothing yet, baby. Once the Steelworkers Unions get a hold of them, along with the NEA and the death grip that they have on our education system now, wow, are we in trouble. Wow, are we in trouble. Folks, watch for this to blow up and either end college sports as we know it, or definitively end the union debate for college students, period. Should be an interesting unfolding to see. So, anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Stay tuned. We'll be back for more That's It. I've had it. Again, you guys are awesome. Stay tuned.